So let's leave the heel pull now and the heel turn and just talk a little bit about the shaping of the feet. Now in the technique, in the tango, we always have the discussion of the inside edge of the ball, the inside edge of the foot. Now that's not to say that in the swing dances you're not using the inside edge of the foot. If I'm extending for my second step in waltz, you can see that I have my foot shaped in such a way that it is on the inside of the big toe. That's not mentioned. So we don't have every little detail in the book, and I know some people complain about that, but as it is, it's difficult enough sometimes to use the information there. You will never learn your dancing from the book. The book is a reference, and I think it's an important reference, and if you were having a good teacher and good consistency in your teacher, you know how to dance, you begin to see how the book will help you in reference. It's very helpful for you to see the breakdown of turn and to see how that helps the body's balance. Many times the foot positions are very helpful to know. The technique is not your law so much as it's a record of what happens when we move. And I think it's done very well. There are some things that perhaps we could go into more detail. For instance, an alignment of backing the line of dance and commencing a turning figure. We do need to know that we accomplish roughly an eighth of a turn as we begin our stride. Those things are not broken down in the book. So you need to learn those in your lessons. If we have every single detail, it may be too wordy. But I know there are people trying to improve on that, and perhaps we can. On the other hand, if you understand the technique, then you can understand the way that it's written. So generally what will happen there is you'll be given your division of turn between steps, division of turn between 1 and 2, completion of turn on 3, and we have additional helpful phrases as to whether we have a foot swivel or whether we have a body completes the turn. So I have talked about this before in some of my discussions on the technique. So we'll move on from there. I wanted to talk about the inside edge, which is not always mentioned, but assumed. That is not only part of the beauty, but also as I transfer my weight, then from one foot to the other, I will go across my foot again to where I have the platform to stand on. And if you were to go flat to the foot, you would overbalance to the outside. If we look at a chasse, now this for the man would be the chasse to the right, or for the lady a progressive chasse. I'll dance a very small one in this room. It's very important here that the ankle of the trailing leg is shaped inward, not just flat. You're very aware of the direction and the action of the tracking foot. So regardless which partner I'm doing that, I would be clear about how I'm using my foot. So we'll just cover those couple points. I think it's related to our discussion this morning of how to use the feet in the heel pull, and hopefully I've covered a few of those questions that arose. So the heel turn, the feet are together. The heel pull, the feet are partially apart. When the man dances a heel turn, his rise is slightly later than the lady would do, because he's in charge of keeping control over the dance. So where the lady would commence to rise with no foot rise, slight rise at the end of 1, this is at the end of 2. So when the man is dancing in his turn, he would not rise quite as soon as the lady, or he would lose control over her shaping. So we could talk about every single figure. Obviously in the tango, all your inside edges are described. All of your side steps are described as inside edge and whole foot. And I think it's a very helpful exercise to do to develop those ankles. Make sure that the free foot is angling and you never have 2 heels on the floor. So just a small discussion of a few figures. And we'll come back and we'll talk about the other questions we had this morning on types of rise, another big topic. And I may do that in 2 videos as well, so we can talk about swing rise pressure rise, early rise, gradual rise, foot rise, body rise, some of the other questions that have come up.